Swallowed Star 483 Time Space Scribbles. Chapter 483 Time Space Scribbles. Translator, Translation Nation Editor, Translation Nation. Passing the first level of the heavenly bridge was 100 points, the second level yielded 200, the third was 400, it compounded as it grew. After passing the 21st level, one could become a universe country leader. At the same time, they will also gain 100 million points in reward. Don't even mention True Yen Emperor not being able to afford it. Even those universe country leaders would have to go out on a limb to buy it. 100 billion was simply too huge a sum, enough to make even a universe country leader tremble. Much less the little Luo Feng, he could only stare wide-eyed. Haha, shocked? True Yen laughed on the screen. Teacher, what's the point of telling me about the time-space scribbles? I can't afford it at all. Luo Feng muttered. Even if it's written by the creator of 9 Universe Tablet, I can't afford it. Passing the 21st level of the Heavenly Bridge could lead to one becoming a universe country leader. That level of being? Carving out the 9 Universe Primal Chaos Tablet that actually allowed one to train up to level 27, the Time-Space Scribbles deserves to be sold at such a price. That absolute being was definitely one that stood at the absolute pinnacle of humanity itself, a powerful warrior that dominated over status and rank. If one said that the 9 universe was deep and profound, and is able to entice and help many with comprehension. True Yen said, then this time-space scribbles itself has recorded thousands to tens of thousands of techniques. Thousands to tens of thousands of techniques? Luo Feng starred. True Yen nodded. Right, back then the being that created the 9 Universe Tablet put his main ideas about the path he took into the 9 pictures. These 9 pictures naturally enticed people in its path to comprehension. Also, while this being was creating the 9 pictures, according to the 9 pictures, he struggled quite hard in his comprehension, and during which he recorded all the techniques he thought of in that process. These techniques that resonate with the 9 pictures, there's a total of 10,829 techniques. 10,829 techniques? Luo Feng blinked hard. A true absolute being could create so many techniques from just those 9 pictures. These techniques are extremely scattered. True Yen Emperor said. Hence the name Scribbles. This was mainly due to it being random writings or pictures. Some are extremely profound and some not, some of them even very random and scattered. When the later generations studied the time-space scribbles, they couldn't even find all 10,829 techniques within. Since they couldn't find them all, how did they know there were so many? Luo Feng asked curiously. The creator himself wrote it in the first page. True Yen laughed. Even though they couldn't find everything, but they still discovered tens of thousands. This entire set has 9 books. 9 books? Luo Feng thought about it. The 9 Universe Tablet had a total of 9 pictures too. The scribbles were originally written according to the 9 pictures. The first book is in accordance with the first picture, the second with the second picture, 9th with 9th. True Yen smiled. Listening to his teacher say so, Luo Feng thought about it and used his finger to point at another screen on the side. He swiftly opened the manuals in the treasure trove and quickly found the exorbitantly priced time-space scribbles. Even the author's name was anonymous. Luo Feng opened it to examine it. Time-space scribbles, first book 1,000 points. Time-space scribbles, first 2 books 10,000 points. Time-space scribbles, first 3 books 100,000 points. Time-Space Scribbles, first 7 books 1 billion points. Time-Space Scribbles, first 8 books 10 billion points. Time-Space Scribbles, entire set 100 billion points. And this Time-Space Scribbles didn't come with a discount. It's really exactly as I thought. Luo Feng laughed loudly. These expensive books really sell separately too. Ah, like what you thought? On the screen Tru Yen laughed. Luo Feng laughed too. Back when he was on Earth, the normal fighter's 9-level Thunder Blade was sold separately too. However, the price is still very expensive. Luo Feng frowned. The price is expensive. Tru Yen nodded. The moment you choose to buy it, then later on you'll have to work hard to earn back the points. The first 7 books reflect the first 7 pictures of the 9 Universe tablet. Comprehending them all would allow one to reach Universe Country Leader level. However, even after passing the 21st level of the bridge, one would barely have a little over 100 million points, and just the first 7 books require 1 billion points. Those who bought these July 1st books were normally not Universe Country Leaders. Luo Feng, this is definitely considered an extremely expensive book. The Floating Blood you bought was only 800 points, and they resonate with the March 1st pictures. This book, however, just the March 1st require 100,000 points. And it gets worse later on. However, they are definitely the best training option in training and studying the 9 Universe tablet, as large amounts of techniques are stored within. By studying these techniques, the effects may be even better than directly studying the 9 Universe tablet. On the screen Tru Yen Emperor smiled happily as he looked at Luo Feng. Luo Feng, my good disciple, it's your choice whether to buy it or not. Buy, definitely. Luo Feng didn't even hesitate. Ah. Tru Yan's golden eyebrows creased. Anyway, I have points now. Luo Feng smiled. I can afford it now. As for later on whether I can afford it or not, that's a problem for the future. His eyes gleamed. Teacher, since you said that its effects are comparable and maybe better than actually studying the 9 Universe tablet itself, no matter how many points it requires, I still have to buy it. The points are nothing but little playthings. The comprehension of the laws, that's the true mark of becoming a strong warrior. Finishing up, Luo Feng didn't even hesitate. He immediately bought the first 2 books. Exchange successful. Deducting 10,000 points, remainder 20,360 points. Please wait, someone will send the manual over immediately. On the screen a notice popped out. Teacher, I've already bought it. Luo Feng looked at the other screen in which Tru Yen was in. HM. Tru Yen smiled. With this Time-Space Scribbles, your study of the 9 Universe tablet will speed up a lot. If you have any questions, bear with it for 3 months, and if after 3 months you still haven't understood it, come ask me. Yes. Luo Feng nodded. Also, let me advise you on one more thing. Tru Yen smiled in the screen. There's no need to waste time studying in Yuxiang Mountain that much. It is important to study and comprehend the laws. However, you can totally go take on a mission. Exploring and doing missions in reality, training in reality, and studying the laws simultaneously, these 2 shouldn't be delayed. The efficiency of the 2 together will rise greatly. Luo Feng thought and nodded. Understood, teacher. Primal Chaos City. Within that ancient mansion, Tru Yen Emperor smiled and nodded. Luo Feng, this punk, he is indeed straightforward. Luo Feng quickly received the 2 books that he ordered. They were both stored in a silver briefcase. In his study. Luo Feng opened the briefcase, shocked. 2 books? The time-space scribbles. One had to know that when he purchased the floating blood before, all 110 books almost just filled up the entire briefcase. However, these 2 books alone took up half of the entire briefcase. These 2 books, accurately speaking, were made of metal. Even the pages were gold in color. The first book was 50 centimeters long, 40 centimeters thick and 40 centimeters tall. The second book was 50 centimeters long, 40 centimeters thick and 30 centimeters tall. Damn, how can one even call these 2 books? They are even larger than my laptop bag. They are almost like a huge bag itself. Luo Feng was speechless. No wonder the 2 books alone took up half of the entire briefcase. He looked down to look at the covers. On it were the simple universe language words, time-space scribbles. Simple words, yet they held within them the universe space itself. With a glance, he felt himself getting drawn into the words themselves, almost as though he was staring at stars exploding, galaxies evolving, etc. After a second, Luo Feng awoke with a shock. Unbelievable. Luo Feng started. These 2 books sent over by the virtual universe system. They aren't even the original copies, and they can actually entice my consciousness already. The being that wrote time-space scribbles is too terrifying. Luo Feng quickly opened the metal cover. This first book was 40 centimeters thick. However, it had 1,000s of pages. Even though they were metal pages, they were still thin and soft. There's a total of 9 books for the entire manual, casually writing and creating a total of 10,829 techniques. If one can find all 10,829 techniques within, at least, you'll be able to become a universe country leader. Haha, these simple words were on the first page. Strangely enough, it seemed like a voice of a brash and confident person resounded within Luo Feng's ears. Hypnotism? Luo Feng was suspicious, flipping to the second page. On the second page, there were simple strokes. However, these strokes, in Luo Feng's eyes, seemed to resonate with simple yet fierce blade work and strokes. Elegant. Powerful. Luo Feng couldn't help but compliment. The raindrop picture has but 9 simple wonders, and he's able to create such simple yet powerful blade techniques. Luo Feng, who had long comprehended the first raindrop picture, could swiftly see through these seemingly messy strokes and scribbles. He was able to clearly feel the circumstance behind each stroke, clearly seeing the techniques. And as he had already comprehended the raindrop pictures, he was immediately able to learn the technique. Luo Feng flipped to the third page. On this page, a simple leaf was there. On it were simple brush strokes that formed the veins. In Luo Feng's eyes, however, he saw 9 spirit weapons in mid-air forming one body, descending from above, surrounding and killing an enemy. Simple, fierce offense. Using 8 weapons to affect the space, surrounding the enemy and killing him directly. Luo Feng was completely shocked. This is much stronger than the 9-thread loop I created. When I unleash the totem pillar, I can only rely on the Nanshan armament to get stronger. His own technique, the 9-thread loop, obviously paled in comparison to the random techniques this absolute being had scribbled. It's wonderful. Luo Feng flipped to the 4th page, his eyes gleaming. Metal pages of the book were flipped constantly. Every one of them held within different offensive attacks, all using the wonders of the raindrop picture. The simple raindrop picture, the absolute being had created wonderful and powerful techniques according to that one picture. Be it close combat, or a controller's distant attacks, or hypnotism, or spirit attacks. Many different techniques were all at his disposal. As Luo Feng had fully comprehended the raindrop picture just from simply looking at these techniques, he almost instantly comprehended all of them. It's unbelievable. Vicious. Powerful. Luo Feng was like a starving beast flipping through page after page. He had never thought of such ways to unleash such techniques. It was simply like a heavenly horse flying. He couldn't even imagine the mindset of that being. Also, the techniques were all exciting and absolute, yet they all still relied on the foundation of the raindrop picture. These techniques were also a way to use the origin laws. That absolute being casually wrote 1,000s of ways to use the raindrop picture. 3 days later. Worth it, worth it. When Luo Feng finished flipping through the last page of the first book, he couldn't help but shout out excitedly. Finishing the first book. There were 3,219 techniques in that first book, and Luo Feng had fully grasped them all. This was only 1,000 points. Even if I had to buy it with 30,000 points, it'd still be worth it. Luo Feng closed this book. He was excited, as in his mind the many techniques floated within. Right, that being had opened a window that wasn't there before for him. It wasn't just his comprehension of the 9-universe tablet that leveled up. It also spurred many new ideas on how to battle, and increased the amount of knowledge to a whole new level about many other things.